Good day. My name is Peter Fedke. I'm the Department Head of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering here at North Carolina State University. Welcome. Welcome to our May 2021 graduation ceremony. We wish that we could be hosting you on campus for this event. Circumstances do not permit. Welcome to our graduates, their friends, their family, and their loved ones. We hope you find some joy in our ceremony today. Today, you'll be hearing from two of our student speakers, and they'll be introduced by some of our faculty and staff. And you will also be hearing from an alumni speaker, also introduced by a staff member. And I will come back at the end of the ceremony and have a few closing remarks for you. Enjoy the rest of the ceremony. The class of 2021 joins alumni from our 97-year history of the department. And over this time, the department has awarded 6,000 BS degrees 942 master's degrees, and 610 Ph.D. degrees. In the May ceremony, we're awarding 123 Bachelor of Science degrees. A remarkable number of these students, 110, have earned the honor of distinction in their degree. Cum laude, magna cum laude, or summa cum laude. That amounts to 89% of the bachelor's degrees that we're awarding. That's a remarkable accomplishment. The list goes on. 18 of those students graduated with double majors, and 65 of those students graduated with one or more minors. The faculty of the department are very proud of these students and their accomplishments. At the graduate level today, we've awarded 43 Master of Science degrees. 17 of those students have earned that degree through the Engineering Online program, which is a distance education program. The remainder of those master's students are staying on campus and completing their studies towards their Ph.D. The department is awarding 18 Doctor of Philosophy degrees. These students have typically spent 5+ years past their bachelor's degree program to earn the honor of being addressed as doctor. Our students are advised, taught, and mentored by faculty dedicated to delivering a rigorous and high-quality program to prepare graduates for their degree and for lifelong learning. Our faculty consists of internationally known scholars who are leaders in their fields, as well as emerging research leaders in their disciplines. Teaching is equally important to us as our scholarship. I am proud to say members of our faculty have won college, university, and national teaching awards. Graduates, your chemical engineering education has provided you a tool set for you to be successful in your career. You now have a foundation to build upon. You are now empowered to make your mark on the world. Choices are now yours to make and within your control. How will you leverage and build upon your NC State education? What distinguishing service will you provide to your employer, your profession, your community, your state, and your nation? How will you make a difference? I know my faculty colleagues have challenged you in their courses. I want to present you a final challenge. I challenge you to excel in whatever you do. It is important to recognize excellence requires not only skills and knowledge, which is what we here at NC State have provided you, but also a persevering work ethic and a positive can-do attitude. I believe you will find success and you will be rewarded. Vince Lombardi, a coach of the Green Bay Packers, said it well. If you are not fired with enthusiasm, you will be fired with enthusiasm. I hope someday, at some future NC State commencement ceremony, your achievements will be given as an example of what an NC State graduate is capable.
As the department's Director of Alumni Relations, I'd first like to congratulate all of you 2021 BS, MS, and PhD graduates on behalf of our more than 7,000 chemical engineering alumni. Welcome to our NC State CBE alumni family. It is now my pleasure to introduce the alumni speaker for our 2021 commencement ceremony, Stacey Orlandi. We have all learned to do things differently because of COVID, such as holding virtual meetings via Zoom. Since Stacey works in Western Australia, some 10,000 miles from campus, this allows us to have her speak without taking the more than 30 hours needed for her to fly to Raleigh. Stacey earned a BS degree in chemical engineering from NC State in 1994. Her first job was as a process engineer at Radian Corporation in the Research Triangle Park. She then went to Governor John Brown in Greenville, South Carolina, designing PET and pharmaceutical facilities. In 1998, Stacey joined BP in Naperville, Illinois, working on refining technologies. She then took on strategic roles at BP's corporate headquarters in London and moved into successive leadership positions as refinery superintendent in Carson, California, refining supply manager in Naperville, Illinois, Refining Technology Development Manager, also in Naperville, and Refinery Manager in Blaine, Washington. In 2014, Stacey moved into executive management with Shell in Houston, Texas, as Research and Development VP for Chemicals and New Energies. In 2019, she headed to Shell's corporate headquarters in the Netherlands as VP of Production Excellence for Integrated Gas and New Energies. Finally, she moved last year to Western Australia as VP of Prelude, Shell's floating liquefied natural gas facility. Stacey is married to Phil Orlandi, and they have a precocious daughter, JJ. Thanks, Stacey, for serving as our 2021 commencement speaker.
Greetings all from Perth, Australia. It's Stacey Orlandi, and it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to be part of your commencement ceremony today. A couple of months ago, when I was asked to do a video commencement speech, I just said, yes, that sounds great. I'm sure I can figure that one out. And then a couple of weeks passed and a couple of months passed, and about a week ago, I said to myself, I've got to figure this out. And my family, my husband Phil and my daughter JJ and I try to have dinner together every night at the table. And a couple of nights ago, I was talking to my daughter JJ, who's 9, and I said, JJ, if you were graduating from college and someone was going to speak to you, what would you hope that they would say? And she sat there for a second and she said, I would hope that they said you did a good job and you worked really hard. And I hope you're going to get a good job and be successful. And then she paused for a minute and then she said, and congratulations. Make sure you say congratulations. And I thought, wow, such wisdom from a 9-year-old, since they don't overthink things quite as much as the adults can do. So before I go any further, a huge congratulations to everyone. It has been 27 years since I sat in your seat, but what I can say is that I remember the late nights and the study groups and the professors and the exams and the teacher's assistants and just how hard it was to get through with a degree in chemical engineering. And it's a fantastic accomplishment, so huge congratulations to everyone. And maybe in terms of the acknowledgements, I've already mentioned all the faculty at NC State, but I also know that you all stand on the shoulders of many people who have come before you. That might be your friends, it might be your family, it might be multiple generations, you might be the first person who's gone to university from your family. But a huge thank you to all the folks who have supported you to also help you get to where you are today. And maybe what I'll do is just spend a few minutes talking about some tips that I wish I had known when I graduated from college. And a couple of them are probably already, well, one of them I've already touched on, which is just say yes and then figure it out. And before I go to that, I'll touch on a few, the numbers part of my career. So I have worked for 4 different companies. I have lived in 13 different locations across 3 continents. And I have served on 2 nonprofit boards or industry associations. And I've spent the better part of the 27 years since I graduated working on a problem that I believe is worth solving, which is providing energy to billions of people while tackling the challenges of climate change. And so if I think about the tip of just say yes and then you'll figure it out, so many times in my career someone said, we think you should go do this next. And I thought to myself, not quite sure if I'm ready. And through asking folks, well, do you think I'm ready? And hearing what they said and why they felt like I was ready for a specific role or a specific assignment, I just said yes. And then ultimately I figured it out. And I think as technical people, we can sometimes overanalyze and overthink. And so my advice to you would be just say yes, and you will absolutely figure it out. The other one I've just touched on is to make sure that you find problems worth solving. And that's not easy because there are plenty of problems that will come your way, whether you're going to graduate school or whether you're finding a job or whether you're in a situation where you don't know what you're doing next. You'll be faced with a lot of problems and challenges, and sometimes it's hard to pick the ones that really are worth solving. And so at least what's worked for me is to focus on the problems that align with the passion that I have or the purpose that I have, and match the capabilities that I bring to the table. And at least over my career, I have been drawn towards ultimately leading people and bigger groups of people, but doing that in the energy industry because I am motivated by the fact that we are providing energy to the world's billions of people. And I think the other piece is that as I've gotten more and more into larger leadership roles, what I'm also hugely passionate about is to build a culture where people can thrive and do amazing things. And so anytime I think about what might be next, it has to align with what I believe is the problem we're solving, and is able to leverage the capabilities that I feel like I bring to the table. And I think maybe the last tip I'll leave you with is to take care of yourself and to put yourself first when it comes to taking care of yourself and the stresses and strains that come along with balancing your whole life. And I speak about this from experience because in 2013, I had to take a 7-week medical leave from my profession, and it was when I was a refinery manager. And it wasn't an easy thing to do. And what I thought was just a chronic or acute back pain, ultimately, I realized I was just burned out. And I did a lot of deep work on myself, and I read a lot of books, and I did a lot of Eastern medicine. And in the end, I came back a much stronger person than when I left. But what I wish I had known sitting in your seat is to make sure that I put myself first, that I took care of all aspects of my human energy, and that I made sure that I was refreshing those energy stores every day so that I wouldn't get to the stage of burning out. And in today's world, with everything that people have gone through over the last year, there's no doubt the cases of mental illness are on the rise. And it's just something I have so much passion for because I've been through it. And so what I hope you walk away with, if nothing else, is to take care of yourself first so that you're able to take care of those around you. And so if I reflect back on what the chemical engineering degree has done for me, it's enabled everything I've just described. And I've been so blessed to have had such a strong foundation that I was able to get at NC State. And at the same time, I think through my own maybe personality and motivation, I think I've made good decisions along the way by finding those problems that are worth solving. I have just said yes, and then figure out how to make it happen. And every day I work a little bit harder on making sure that I take care of myself and put myself first, which is not so easy when you are working full time and you want to be the best mom you can be to your kids. So I think what I'll do is close things out. The sun is setting here in Perth, and I couldn't be more excited for all the things that all of you will do. And if you were to put yourself 27 years into the future and look back and wonder, what happened with that commencement speech? Luckily, these days, it's all on video, so you can come back to it. But if I left you with only one thing, it would be to just make sure that you're always taking care of yourself. So give to yourself, give back to others, make a difference, and find the problems we're solving. Good luck.
It's my pleasure to introduce the James K. Farrell Award winner. Before I introduce the award winner, though, let me say a little bit about James K. Farrell. Dr. Farrell was a former department head in the chemical engineering program. Actually, Dr. Farrell was the very first Ph.D. graduate from our program. Friends of Dr. Farrell provided an endowment to enable this award. It's my pleasure to introduce Dr. Kaihang Shi. Dr. Shi is a graduate of a bachelor's degree from the East China University in Shanghai, China. He joined our graduate degree program and was advised by Professor Keith Gubbins and Dr. Eric Santiso. Dr. Shi's dissertation title is Molecular Simulation and Theoretical Studies of Adsorption on Heterogeneous Surfaces and Microscopic Pressure Tensor in Thin Adsorbed Films. Dr. Shi.
Hello, everyone. I'm very grateful and humbled to be selected as the winner of the 2020 James K. Farrell Award. And I would like to thank the Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering Department for inviting me to speak at this special event. I consider myself extremely lucky to have worked with a group of very talented and accomplished students from CBE department. I have no doubt that other nominees of this award have also been working hard and realized great achievements in their own field. During my 5-year PhD with hardship and fulfillment, I received tremendous support from my two advisors, Professor Keith Gubbins and Professor Eric Santiso, and support from my colleagues, collaborators, and my friends, and most importantly, my parents in China. Here, I would like to especially thank my main advisor, Professor Keith Gubbins, for his mentorship and friendship. So Keith, thank you for creating opportunities for me to succeed. Your professionalism, scholarship, and work ethics deeply affect me and will push me and inspire me on my future path. And congratulations to all graduates. You have now earned one of the most valuable degrees from one of the best chemical engineering programs in the nation. NC State has the world-renowned reputation in engineering, and especially in chemical engineering. I know this degree means a lot to you and your family. Your degree also means a great deal to the world. We are facing many unprecedented national and global challenges nowadays. This includes global warming, pollution, energy crisis, and disease. Equipped with the knowledge of transport, thermodynamics, reactions, and many others from the chemical engineering curriculum, we, as chemical engineers, can explore the past that hasn't been or will never be explored in nature. We can now fix the carbon in the air, harvest water in deserts, and design medicine to cure disease. We have the chance to build a better world for our family, our community, for our nation, and for the entire humanity. Having received top-notch education from NC State, we are also responsible to advocate the equity, diversity, and condemn the hate and discrimination. One fun fact that is probably not known to many people is that the Chinese President Xi also holds a bachelor's degree on chemical engineering. So dream big and be proud to be a chemical engineer. Here, I also like to thank all faculty members for your dedication to teaching for the next generation scientists, engineers, and policymakers. It is your relentless efforts that inspire so many students, including me, to pursue their dream and profession. The Chemical Engineering Department at NC State has a glorious history of being a world-class vanguard in research, teaching, and service. You can find many outstanding alumni all around the world who excel in their fields. Now it is our turn to build upon it. As the famous quote of Steve Jobs says, stay hungry and stay foolish, and continue to open up your mind and refine your skill sets. I believe all of us will have a rewarding life and a career. Again, thanks for the department for this great award, and congratulations to all graduates. Go Pack.
Samantha Lauren Gall is graduating with a BS in Chemical Engineering and minors in Biotechnology and Biomanufacturing. During her time at NC State, she's been a member of the University Honors Program. She studied abroad in Segovia, Spain, and she's also been a brother and an officer in Alpha Chi Sigma. She's had 4 semesters of undergraduate research experience in BTech, and she's also gained engineering experience through internships at Biogen, Biomedomics, and Korea Therapeutics. Her time at NC State has solidified her passion for helping others and directed her path as a chemical engineer toward engineering better medicines. After graduation, she plans to work in the biopharmaceutical and gene therapy industry. Please join me in welcoming our student speaker, Sam Gall.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for taking the time to spend this special occasion with your favorite graduates. During a typical commencement ceremony, I would be welcoming you all to a venue well decorated with chemical engineering regalia and probably a few plants thanks to Dr. Bullard. However, this year, I have the unique pleasure of being welcomed into your homes as we all attend this ceremony virtually. The events that have transpired over the past year have been unexpected to say the least, and I think all of the graduates in the audience can agree that none of us envisioned our senior year looking quite the way it did. We find ourselves mourning the loss of the final undergraduate experience that we expected rather than mourning its reality passing. This year has come with a fresh set of challenges that we have all had to overcome to be in attendance at this ceremony. However, amongst all of the novel experiences and difficult situations, at least one hallmark of a typical senior year has remained, and that is the ability of NC State faculty and alumni to assure us that a chemical engineering degree has prepared us to pursue any future endeavors we may choose. Oftentimes, we are reminded that the degrees that we have earned will ensure our utility in society. Chemical engineers are essential to nearly any field that contributes to keeping our communities functioning smoothly. We might note that many specializations of chemical engineers have played a part in the developing return to normalcy in the midst of the pandemic. Development, production, and distribution of a COVID-19 vaccine fell under the purview of chemical engineers in the biotechnology, biomanufacturing, and petroleum sectors. And of course, we cannot forget our paper science peers who likely never imagined a toilet paper shortage would be making national headlines. Clearly, no matter the path we have forged within chemical engineering, we can all rest assured in the knowledge that there will always be new problems to solve and bigger questions to answer. While our utility as chemical engineers continues to be proven, we would be remiss to ignore another quality that will be invaluable to each of us as we continue to move forward on our own individual journeys, and that quality is humanity. Our utility may hold the promise of a satisfactory job. By actively showing the people around us the humanity they deserve, we expand the possibility for fulfillment in our careers and in our lives. With a chemical engineering degree, we know we can go on to be doctors, lawyers, business owners, or truly anything our hearts desire. But perhaps we can transcend these professional titles as the metrics to which we aspire. Perhaps we should endeavor rather to be compassionate, supportive, empathetic, and to embrace fellowship with those around us. There is a certain kinship that comes with shared lived experience, and because of the very things that have kept us physically apart over the past 12 months, many of us are more personally connected than we would have been otherwise. When I think of this connection to my peers and my colleagues, I'm reminded of an activity my youngest brother participated in during preschool over a decade ago. There is a book by Carol McLeod titled, "Have You Filled a Bucket Today?" which is written to help teach the basics of kindness, empathy, and forgiveness. I unfortunately will not be reading you a children's book today. I know you all are probably very disappointed, but the premise of the book is that we all have a metaphorical bucket that we carry with us throughout the day. When we give or receive kindness, empathy, or share any other positive interactions, both of our buckets get fuller. However, when the interaction is negative, both of our buckets are empty. McLeod uses this simple story as a way to show us that we are all responsible for one another. And just as much as our outward actions affect those around us, they affect our own inward feelings as well. So, in addition to an introspective analysis of our utility in the workplace and in the world, let us also take a moment to reflect on our humanity. When we ask ourselves, was I productive today? Let us also wonder whether or not we were kind today. While the past year has produced challenges that force us all to give more grace to others and to ourselves, we should not abandon that grace when we are finally able to abandon our face coverings. On behalf of my fellow classmates, I would like to thank all of the faculty members who have supported us as we traverse this unusual undergraduate experience, and for continuing to deliver exceptional instruction in the face of uncertainty. Graduates, I am so grateful to have been able to experience each of the last 4 years with all of you, and I wish you great success in all of your future endeavors. And finally, to our loved ones, if you are able to be with your graduate today, make sure to give them plenty of handshakes and hugs, as I know those have been in short supply this past year. Thank you, everyone, and as always, go Pack!
It is our joy to celebrate with you on the occasion of your graduation, whether it be in May, summer, or December.
We wish that we could celebrate with you in person and shake your hand as you are individually recognized, surrounded by your classmates, friends, and family. but our congratulations are no less sincere because they are offered online.
During your time in the Department of Chemical and Biomolecular Engineering, you've changed a lot. You've grown up right before our eyes.
You're more confident, and at the same time, you know that you don't know everything. And that's okay. You have learned how to learn.
You might be thinking with regard to your graduation, it's finally here. This is the best day of my life.
Wow, it's a high privilege to be part of the best day of someone's life. But we would add one word, yet. This is the best day of my life yet.
While college can be wonderful and sometimes terrible, we believe that your best days are ahead of you. Reaching this milestone of obtaining your ChemE degree will change your life and your family's life for generations.
Only in a few years you will be able to look back and see the impact of your accomplishments. But for now, for today, bask in the satisfaction that you have achieved a challenging goal and anticipate what lies ahead.
We won't lie. There will be some hard days ahead for each of you, for all of us, professionally and personally. They're going to come.
When those hard days come, look back on what you overcame to get here. You've done this tough thing.
And the determination, the persistence, and the downright stubbornness it took to get you here will serve you well when the hard day comes.
As you reflect back on your time as a chemical engineering student, you probably remember some late nights working on homework, studying for tests, and the effort that went into lab reports and senior design projects. You also likely remember some frustration and maybe a few tears.
You might remember professors who inspired you, challenged you, and maybe frustrated you from time to time.
Maybe it's one of these folks on this screen, or many more across our campus.
In Randy Posh's book, The Last Lecture, he remembers a high school coach who was always on his case. An assistant coach pulled him aside and said, "When you're screwing up and nobody says anything to you anymore, that means they've given up on you."
We did not give up on you, and we did not let up on you. We see the huge potential within each one of you, and our desire is to stretch you and to push you to achieve all that you are capable of accomplishing.
We care about you, both as a student and as a person.
And as you move forward, the department will be here for you, and we will cheer you on. You will always be part of the NC State CBE family.
In my office, there are 2 rocking chairs. I spend a lot of time in those chairs talking with students. Sometimes we're celebrating something great, like a job offer or a grad school acceptance. And other days, maybe it's hard to see how things are going to work out. It's on your worst day. When I look at you, I see you in a red cap and gown, even when you can't see yourself that way. And that's why graduation is the best day of the year, because you have accomplished what I and the faculty and your family always believed you could. As a teacher, my greatest dream is to help you realize yours. Congratulations on behalf of all the faculty.
We hope you've enjoyed our virtual graduation ceremony for the May 2021. Graduates, know that you are always welcome to visit with us. You are now part of our alumni family. Go Pack!